2020 Dodge Durango, guys. This one looks like it's I believe the 3.6 liter engine, and we've got no communication with the engine computer, so it's a no crank, right? Here's a list so you can see exactly what we have communication with. It's kind of a little strange, right? So we got communication with the body, RFH, ABS, gateway. Now when we go to well, it's not showing in this list now, but there's no communication with the engine computer or the transmission computer. So what I went ahead and did, I pulled the cheat sheet, and the cheat sheet is from the OBD Start DC706, which we sell on our website, globalcommerce.com. Go pick yours up. You can clone this ECM. Originally they thought this was a bad ECM, and they got a replacement, brand new one, to have it programmed, and I was called out for this job because they couldn't communicate. So this is the GPEC 2A. I've got videos on cloning this ECM. Definitely check that out. So using the cheat sheet, we know this is C1 from the OBD Start DC706, and that red wire is pin 96, which is power. I do have power. In fact, here's my test light. Let's give it a little love here, and you can see we got power. And 23, which is this last one, is 24. The one next to it is 23. We have no power. I've checked that. So going by a fuse chart, I believe it's fuse 76 on the fuse chart. So we're going to find 76 and see what's going on here. All right, my bad. It's actually fuse 78. As you can see, it's ECM, PCM, EPS 78, and 78 is here, which should be this first red 10 amp right there. Let's check it out. No power there. No power on either side. So we got to check that circuit and find out why there's no power. Let me see if I got power anywhere else. Make sure my test light is on properly. Yeah, I got power here, but I've got no power on 78 at all. So let's check that circuit. We can have full access to be able to erase codes, do everything we need to do. We're going to pull off this side panel, as you can see here, and there is the access to the CAN bus network, and we're going to bypass the security gateway right here. So we're going to be using the ultimate CAN bus tester for this, guys, and as you can see, it does. We're going to connect to a common ground anywhere on the vehicle, just so that we get accurate readings on our CAN lines. And I could just connect right here, for example, just like that. And then we're going to now plug in this into this port is made directly for Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, so we can plug directly now into that port, and we'll be on the network just like that. So it's actually going to be this green one we connect up to, and I'll just click it in. I'm trying to do this one-handed, and that's it. Now we bypass the gateway, just that simple. Right? So now you can actually see some activity on the bus. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is connect my scanner directly here to the ultimate CAN bus tester, and now I'll be able to erase codes, program whatever I need to do. So let me turn the ignition on. Key. There it is. I have to put the key there. And we can see our active voltage on the bus right now. Okay. So let's go to diagnose. This is going to be Dodge. Okay. Let it do an auto. Okay. The BCM has this code, and this code is going to, I believe, give us exactly what is going on. B2183-11. Ignition, unlock, start, run, control circuit, short to ground. Read fault codes. I got my internet on, and B2183. We're going to go ahead and go back and try to clear these codes. Yes. Succeeded in clearing the codes. Now, if you were not connected to using the ultimate CAN bus tester, you wouldn't be able to do this. So we're going to tell it OK, read codes, and we still got a 2183 control circuit short to ground. So everything comes back to the start run relay, which is K8. See that there? You can see right there too, start run, and that's going to be this one right here. So we need to check because the BCM is showing, I believe it's shorted to ground possibly. So let's check that out. Actually pulled it. I'm going to even test this relay, but in the meantime, I went ahead and jumped it from 30 to 86, I think it is. So let's see if we get power now. We should have power on our fuse. We might even be able to start the vehicle by bypassing that relay. And we do have power now on our fuse, right? So let me get a better booster on because we're already down to like 7 volts. I went ahead and connected, and I am connected to the engine computer. So that tells me that that does confirm that the engine computer is operational and it was down because of that relay. So now we got to troubleshoot that error, the short to ground. Go ahead and test this relay because it could just be a bad relay. So we've got a relay tester here available on our website, globalcommerce.com. This is a 4-pin relay. So we're going to put it over to 4-pin, and then we're going to put it in the appropriate slot, which would be here. Now, I don't know if that's coming up red to you, but this light is red. So we're going to hit the test button, and it's going to test it 10 times rapidly. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like this relay is going to be good because within 10 times, we probably would have seen a failure. So it looks like this relay is good. We got a green light, guys. So then the problem is not going to be the relay itself, but most likely an issue, the fuse box. These are notorious for issues. Could be a wiring or the BCM itself. So we got to keep going now. I'm here at the body control module, which is located right here. See that glove box? And I pull off connector A. If you haven't seen that diagram, you're going to see it. So this is connector A, and we're going for pin 24. And pin 24 should be a pink and white, and you can even see it. It says 24 on it right there. It's already labeled for you. And you should have no connectivity to ground. So my battery's here. I just went directly from my battery negative to this pin 24, and I have way over, basically there's no connection to ground. You could say that, right? So that means that the fault is going to be in the BCM. That means this BCM is bad. It's going to have to be replaced. It's internally shorted. One thing I noticed when I went to the fuse box, back here at the fuse box, these two, I didn't get a ground signal on either one of these right here. I know the BCM should send a power to it, but I didn't even find the ground. I'm not sure how this is wired because this is a TIPM, and as you know, this is kind of like a smart box. It's basically a computer, so I'm not sure how it's internally wired, and the diagram did not show the full pinout for that K9 or K8 fuse or relay. So at this point, I'm going to call this as a bad BCM, internally shorted, because it should not be seen as short, because as I disconnected the cable and I tested it to ground, there is no ground at all, you know. So if the BCM is seen in ground, it's internal into the BCM and not the wiring. So I'm going to call the BCM on this one, guys. Anyway, if you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Guys, it's actually a couple days later, and now here's an update. The body control module that I diagnosed, I was correct. That is the original body control module. The replacement is in, and it's programmed down there, and it does not get that fault anymore in the current BCM, the new BCM that's installed. But we still have the exact same problem. That relay is not being energized. So what we're going to do, thank you, Diag Fix. They went ahead and sent out this new multimeter. If you haven't seen the review on it, definitely go check that out. Excellent. I believe there's a coupon for this. This thing is awesome, man. It's got a scope built into it. Just check out the review. Anyway, so what we're going to do is check to see the BCM, I believe, sends power to energize this relay fuse or relay. I think it was an 8. And it should send power on one of these sides. So we're going to use the multimeter to find out which side is actually receiving the power from the BCM. And then we're going to test to see if ground is also active. Right now, I tested This is the source comes from the battery, I believe, and this goes to the to activate the PCM and everything else. One of these needs to come from the BCM to provide power, and the other one should have a ground. There's currently no ground, so that either means that there's a problem with this fuse box, or the wiring under the fuse box, or the fuse box might. These are TIPM, so it might be somewhat smart and actually activating a ground. But I don't know. We're going to see, because in the diagram that I initially looked at, it did not show that part of the circuit. And that could be because it's a smart circuit and it's done internally in this TIPM. So we're going to see. So we're going to go ahead and try to start it. And I'm going to plug into this side for the relay and to try and see if it sends power. I'm connected my other lead right there to battery negative. So if we get some kind of, actually we got to, yeah, hold on. Forgot to turn that on. 1 second. Hold on. All right, go ahead. Okay, we got battery voltage right there. So this side is power coming from the BCM. So we need to check this side now and see if it sends, if we get a ground. So hold on. All right, so I moved my multimeter one side of the lead over there to the battery positive. So we should, since the one I used was the negative lead, it should show a negative voltage. So go ahead and try to start it. Turn it off, the key off and back on. Hold on. It's like I'm not getting full voltage. Hold on. So I'm just going to touch a ground to make sure we're actually seeing full battery voltage or close to it. And we're seeing right around 11.2 volts. It's negative, of course, because I got my lead swapped. That's no big deal. Still, we can get the job done. And what I see here, when we did that, when he tried to start it, we were only getting 3 volts. And that means that we're not getting a strong enough ground right here. And that could definitely be the problem. Okay. All right, so it's showing at 3 volts, which means we don't have enough of a ground signal here. Not good enough. We should be getting close to 11.5. So there's a problem with the ground circuit coming from this TIPM. So I'm going to now run a permanent ground here, and let's see how the car behaves and if it'll actually activate the relay on its own. By the way, I had them, I was out, I was actually teaching class, so I wasn't here to finish this diag. So I told him to just bridge this relay, and that's how he was able to program the BCM with this fault and actually start the vehicle and the engine computer. So the vehicle now starts. Okay, so let me get a wire to bridge that ground, this side to the ground, and then we're going to try that again. All right, I got a lead, this green wire, as you can see right here. I'm going to use this to provide a ground to this relay, but for now I'm just going to double check it and make sure that it actually does have a good ground. So if I touch it here, we should get close to battery voltage. As we do 10, this jumper that this booster I'm on is low, so that's why it's dropping. So I'm going to now put this wire under this position with the relay, and we're going to see how it behaves. Guys, as soon as I plugged in the relay with our ground, our hot wired ground like this, the PCM came on. I heard if you can hear that humming, these different things activated. So go ahead and turn it off and then on and try to start it. Let's try it. Let's try it and see what it does. Looks like they moved this car manually, and that's why we got the park flashing like this, so we might not be able to even turn it off. Yeah, vehicle not in park, if you can see that there. So we got to go under and fix that. But I believe the problem, to finalize this ultimate problem, is going to be now left at the fuse box. So that fuse box is going to have to be removed to see exactly what the fault is with that ground, if it's internal to the TIPM or if it's a wiring. I went ahead in the meantime, while they're going to try to put the transmission in park, I went ahead to advance to find out exactly what the problem is here with this ground circuit, and I pulled the ground distribution diagram for this TIPM box, or that relay, and I'm going to show that to you here. But basically, the ground is a common ground that enters on one cable for a lot of these relays into the TIPM, and it supplies that same ground to multiple relays. One of the relays that it provides grounds to is the wiper relays, right? So if the wipers can come on and off on its own, that would tell me, I'm going to remove this ground, that would tell me that it's going to be an internal problem on that bus bar internally to the TIPM that is bad. But if the wipers do not come on with my ground removed here, then that would tell me that the main ground plane for this TIPM is either not connected well, disconnected, we got a bad ground going to it, or it's completely failed. So we got to see what happens here. I'm going to turn the booster on, and what is that? Something came on. How did this come on and I removed the ground? It still came on. Entonces, hermano. Okay. All right. So I got my ground removed. Turn the key on. Let me try to, how do you put on the wipers on this stupid thing? Wipers come on, if you saw that, and go off. So that circuit is working. Let me see if it starts now. Hold on. It tried to start. Battery's low. The funny thing is I got my ground removed, but maybe just bridging that ground in the TIPM kind of probably woke up a circuit in the TIPM, which would still mean a fault internally in that TIPM, and that TIPM will be bad. And that wouldn't surprise me because these things are always, this is a very big common failure on these Dodge Jeep Chrysler. All right, we got another car connected to give it some juice. So, yeah, listo. Gonna try it. Okay, it started right up. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, remove my jumper completely, and see how it acts. I turn it off and it stays on. Car's off, but it's still on. Oh, there's still a bridge on this relay. Took it off. Okay, turn the key off and on. Just off and on, don't start it. Got our ground off. Let's see how it acts. Turn it on. Try to start it. All right, turn it off. I want to put my ground back. All right, turn it on. There it is, and it works. Bad TIPM, guys. That's the end of this diagnosis. If you didn't know this, now you know, and no one is half the battle. Click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. See you on the next one. A little bonus footage. The transmission light is flashing when it starts. We connected up the Y-Tech, and looks like 86 DTC, so we're gonna scan it. I do know that they actually, this car was, some parts were stolen off of it, and the transmission, the valve body, they opened it and somebody stole everything. So they took the valve body from a used transmission and installed it in here, everything. So that could have some kind of conflict as to why the transmission is not, the light is flashing.
I did proximity alignment. This is correct. That's correct VIN number.
Okay, on the transmission. TCM P1 DCA, park sense circuit open. So something like that could cause a problem and not let you shift, because this stuff is all electronic now, man. All right, guys, that concludes this part of the video. If the customer wants to continue on the diag for the transmission, there will be a part 2 on this, but this was packed with a lot of information, guys. Check you on the next one.